Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news as we dive into the latest developments in the NFL, especially concerning our beloved Washington Commanders. There's a lot to unpack after an eventful Week 5. The atmosphere around the team is as intense as ever, and fans are buzzing with excitement, concern, and hope. The victory against the Los Angeles Chargers was a defining moment, a game that signaled not just a win, but a statement about the resilience and potential of this team. But of course, every victory comes with its own set of stories, challenges, and lessons, and this one is no different. The Commanders, under the guidance of Coach Dan Quinn, showed that they are serious about turning things around. After a sluggish start in the first few games, they managed to flip the script in Week 5, rallying from behind and unleashing a barrage of points that left the Chargers stunned. What's most impressive is how the team responded. They were down early, perhaps a bit tentative, but the coaching staff's adjustments were spot on. Quinn's strategy to tighten up the defense and push the offense to push the tempo worked beautifully, leading to an incredible 27 unanswered points. That kind of resilience, that ability to bounce back and dominate, is exactly what this team needed to boost morale and set the tone for the rest of the season. Now, if we look at the broader picture, this game was a reflection of the growth the Commanders are showing. They've faced setbacks, injuries, and questions about their consistency, but week after week, they've demonstrated a fighting spirit that keeps fans hopeful. Washington's defense, in particular, has been a roller coaster. There are moments of brilliance, but also moments that expose vulnerabilities. And that's what makes the story of Week 5 even more compelling, the team's ability to overcome those hurdles and come out stronger. But as with every team, there are players whose performances tell a different story. And in this case, one name looms large: cornerback Noah Igbenogany. Now, Igbenogany's journey with the Commanders has been a bit of a roller coaster. He's a player who showed promise last season, earning himself a spot on the roster and even securing a new deal. But despite the potential, his consistency has been a major issue. The former Auburn standout, a first-round pick from 2020, has struggled to find his footing in the NFL, especially in a very competitive environment like Washington's secondary. What's troubling is that his influence has waned significantly. It's clear that Igbenogany, despite his athleticism and impressive length, hasn't been able to translate that into impactful performances. Last season, there were signs of promise, moments where he looked like he could be a shutdown corner. But fast forward to 2025, and the results have been far from encouraging. His coverage has been inconsistent, and against the run, he's become a liability, something no team can afford to have on the field regularly, especially when playoff hopes are on the line. In Week 5, the signs of trouble became even more apparent. The Commanders, facing the Chargers at SoFi Stadium, decided to take a clear stance. They allocated just one defensive snap to Igbenogany, and that was on special teams. That's a stark contrast to the expectations for a player who, just a year ago, was fighting for his spot. It's a signal from the coaching staff, defensive coordinator Joe Witt Jr., and Dan Quinn, that they're not satisfied with what they're seeing. And honestly, this isn't just about one game. It's about a pattern that has raised serious questions. You see, Quinn and Witt are no strangers to Igbenogany. This is their third season working with him. They first crossed paths with the Dallas Cowboys before teaming up again in Washington. They've seen the athleticism, the potential, but also the recurring issues. Putting it all together has been an ongoing challenge. The fact that Igbenogany is now barely seeing the field at all suggests that the coaching staff has lost confidence in him. It's a tough pill to swallow for a player who once had a promising start, but now finds himself on the fringes of the roster. This situation underscores a broader truth about NFL teams. Performance and consistency are everything. The Commanders are in a tight window where they simply can't afford to carry players who aren't meeting expectations. For Igbenogany, it's a critical moment. He's overcome adversity before, but this could be a pivotal point in his career. If he wants to prove that he can still be a valuable asset, he needs to find that extra gear, that consistency that's been missing so far in 2025. Right now, the coaching staff's decision to bench him for most of the game speaks volumes. It's a message that unless he shows improvement, he might not see the field much longer, especially if the team keeps winning and building momentum. For the Commanders, this is a delicate balancing act. They're trying to build a defense that can compete at the highest levels, and that means making tough choices. It also means trusting players who have proven they can deliver under pressure. The defensive backfield, in particular, is an area under scrutiny. The team's secondary has shown flashes of brilliance, but consistency remains elusive. Players like Igbenogany, with all their talent, need to step up. If they don't, the coaching staff has no choice but to look elsewhere. Now, let's zoom out for a moment and talk about the bigger picture. The Commanders are on a path that's filled with potential but also pitfalls. They have a talented roster, a motivated coaching staff, and a fanbase hungry for success. The recent win against the Chargers was a massive confidence boost, but it's just one step in a long journey. The NFC East is as competitive as ever, with teams fighting tooth and nail for playoff positioning. The Giants, Eagles, and Cowboys are all formidable opponents, and the margin for error is razor-thin. The team's offensive unit has been a mixed bag this season. Their quarterback has shown flashes of brilliance, but consistency remains a concern. The offensive line has had its moments, but injuries and miscommunications have sometimes hampered their rhythm. The running game has been steady with their key players, but they need to keep that momentum going to help take pressure off the passing game. Meanwhile, the receiving core has been somewhat inconsistent, but there are promising signs, especially when their key playmakers step up. Defensively, Washington has been a work in progress. The front seven has shown flashes of dominance, with the pass rush making life difficult for opposing quarterbacks. But in the secondary, as we discussed, there are still areas that need improvement. The benching of Igbenogany might be viewed as a sign that the coaching staff is willing to make tough decisions to improve the overall team performance. They're not afraid to shake things up if it means giving the team a better chance to succeed. Looking ahead, the Commanders face a critical stretch. They need to turn these flashes of promise into sustained performance. Every game from here on out is like a playoff game, high stakes, high pressure. The team's leadership, both on and off the field, will be tested. The players need to maintain focus, stay healthy, and execute with precision. Fans can feel confident that the front office and coaching staff are laser-focused on improving every aspect of the team, but it's also clear that some players will need to step up or face the consequences. And what about the fans? Well, the passionate Washington faithful have every reason to stay optimistic. This team has shown resilience and the ability to come back from adversity. The victory in Week 5 is proof that they can rally together and turn things around. But it's also a reminder that every game counts, and the depth of the roster will be tested as the season progresses. The coaching staff's decisions, like benching Igbenogany, reflect a commitment to building a stronger, more disciplined team, one that can compete in the playoffs and beyond. As we wrap up this deep dive into the latest happenings with the Washington Commanders, remember that this is a team in evolution. The road ahead is long and filled with challenges, but it's also paved with opportunities. The current situation with Igbenogany highlights the high standards that the team demands. It's a stark reminder that in the NFL, talent alone isn't enough. Performance, consistency, and mental toughness are what separate the good from the great. The Commanders are striving to be great, and every decision they make is aimed at reaching that goal. So fans, stay tuned, stay passionate, and keep supporting your team. The season is still young, and there's plenty more football to be played. The victories, the setbacks, the surprises, they all shape this team's story. And with every game, we're inching closer to understanding exactly what this squad is capable of. The future is bright if they can maintain this momentum, tighten up the areas that need work, and continue to fight for every inch on that field. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Washington Commanders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news.